Hello. Today we're going to talk about what to do if you and your partner have different levels of sexual desire, which, by the way, is totally normal and totally manageable. Hi, I'm Emma Coble. I'm a licensed professional counselor in Colorado. I see clients online in Colorado and in Florida, and I work with women who have trauma as well as with couples who are disconnected. So, if this is you, if it feels like one of you is wanting sex a lot more than the other one, again, this is a totally normal thing. It does not mean your relationship is broken or you're not meant to be together. And it is something that you can move through and understand better and still connect with each other, even if this is the case. So, okay, this, first of all, desire discrepancy can be a signal of there being something else going on and some emotional needs that need some tending and some care, especially if desire discrepancy is showing up like as a problem inside the relationship. Again, we all have different levels of sexual desire and different ways that we respond to sexual cues and feel desire. So I've mentioned this before, but oftentimes men are able to kind of get to a place of sexual desire pretty quickly if they have a cue, an arousal cue. Maybe they see their partner get out of the shower and they're instantly aroused and they're ready to have sex. For women, oftentimes there is a like needing this feeling of a buildup and some emotional safety and feeling desired over a period of time and feeling a connection in order to have that desire be there. And this, again, it's totally normal. So one thing to even think about if there is desire discrepancy is are there ways that maybe one person inside the relationship hasn't been feeling that connection or that level of being desired, or maybe they're just very stressed out and they have a lot going on, that it's not really conducive to feeling sexy and safe and like they have time and space to play. So think about those things that might be also kind of like happening or inside the relationship or outside the relationship that might be kind of contributing to this. Um, so sometimes when there is a desire discrepancy thing that comes up, um, we're not trying to figure out like how do we just fix this sex problem and get you guys to like have more sex. We are thinking about what's happening with the emotional bond and how is that showing up in your sex life, because sex is oftentimes more of like a symptom of something going on than like an actual problem that needs fixed, although it definitely can feel like that when it's going on. So um, oftentimes in this, when desire discrepancy is showing up as a problem, one partner might feel like disconnected or unimportant, and sometimes seek sex as a way to feel close. One partner might feel overwhelmed and withdraw from sex to protect themselves. Oftentimes, there can be a cycle of sort of a like anxiety around sex and then a withdrawal from sex, and it can really help fuel this feeling of unworthiness and disconnection inside the relationship. And that's really where the problem is. Neither person is bad or wrong. Again, EFT, emotionally focused therapy, it's all about the cycles that we get into are the things that are causing pain and harm. That's the enemy. No one person inside this relationship is. Both people have great intentions and both people have emotional unmet needs and attachment needs as well. So refrain from thinking about like who's right or wrong here. So these questions might come up of like, why doesn't this person want me, or what's wrong with me, or why is it always about sex? Try and reframe some of those things when you are trying to talk to your partner, to things about like what helps you feel open and close to me. What makes sex feel good for you? What makes it feel hard for you? How do we both feel safe and valued? What are the kinds of things that turn you on? What do I do that you really like? How do you feel loved by me? Those kinds of questions. And then talk about what sex really means for each of you. So, like, is what do you want your sex life to look like? And you can really want it to look like anything, play, fun, adventure, comfort, an expression of love. Like, these can be ways, even just knowing this information can help you connect in a way that can really make sex feel safer and feel better for you. Again, recognize if you are in one of these cycles. So the cycle might look like one person initiates sex and the other person feels overwhelmed, exhausted, and says no. That first person who initiated maybe feels rejected, undesired, unlovable. Like, all these things might come up. And then that person might withdraw more because they're feeling unimportant, unlovable, undesirable. And then the cycle kind of continues. Maybe that person who said no then feels guilty, feels shut down, and the two of you are further apart than ever in this cycle. So again, like, neither person is bad in this scenario, but it leads to both of you feeling awful about yourselves and about the relationship. So if that's going on, couples therapy can be a great place to explore like what is happening there and why, and how to work through that together. But in lieu of that, think about ways to have non-sexual intimacy rather than forcing any kind of sexual connection. Think about ways to connect that feel good, that are not sexual, or there's no pressure in them. So maybe it's doing like a fun date night or day together, cooking a meal together, watching a show together, holding hands, touching, doing nightly check-ins, and talking about what you are grateful for or love about the other person. Work on thinking about like solutions to the desire discrepancy problem that feel good for both of you. And so maybe that is like one partner like masturbates while the other person cheers them on or something like that. Like you get to be creative about how this looks for you in your relationship. And I would say do that once you feel like the emotional connection is feeling good and better, because oftentimes when there is a problem with desire discrepancy, it's really a problem with the emotional connection. And once that feels better, oftentimes this doesn't feel like as big of a problem. But if it still does, think of some ways that it might feel better. It might feel more connected. There might be ways that you guys can still feel good as a couple and address some of this. So again, I would say really the key to this is working on addressing those emotional unmet needs, those wounds that are here, the trauma that's here, and couples therapy can really help with that. So wherever you are, I would highly recommend couples therapy. If you are in Colorado or in Florida and you want to talk with me, feel free to reach out for a consultation call, and best of luck with this.